Good evening, Free Enterprise fans. I'm Ellen Motas. I'm here with Joe Fuzz in the booth with Scythe Marshall Tracking and Ascorian, our restreamer tonight with the Friday Community Race.
That's right. Today's race, much like Monday's, is one of the key features here being the wacky omnidextrous flag, which really says, have you ever wanted to strap adamant armor to your chest, arms, and face while dual-wielding crystal swords? Well, I have good news for you. That's the kind of wackiness we can expect tonight, I certainly hope. What are you expecting to see tonight?
Well, I do like the meme generation here. We have starting Drain Sphere and Ninja Shirt to go with our basically nothing else as far as equipment goes on our runners. Those runners being tonight, of course, Solaris, Dijon Ketchup, let's see here, Lady Id and Oscar 424. So we got a jam-packed four-person race. If you've been if you're just coming back after the tournament, maybe a packed stream for you.
No shortage of action here tonight, especially with an Edge start. This is a pleasant surprise. Edge is usually good for throwing stuff, but on an omnidextrous flag, it'll be interesting to see how the runners utilize him tonight.
Yeah, we got to remember that with the omnidextrous flag, every character can equip everything. So that means the character's stats are going to matter a little bit more than usual. A lot of times, some of the better characters in the game are good because they can wear good equipment. But once everybody can wear everything, a very speedy character like Edge becomes even more valuable.
On top of that, you can add in the dupe flag as well. That G-dupe is on, and look to see if any of our runners tonight try the dupe glitch to either get Edge a whole lot of stuff to chuck, or sell a whole lot of stuff and break the number overflow value for gold.
We do have some joke objectives up there, but the real objectives tonight are based on the OmniMamm percent in the speedrunning community for FF4. We're getting Cecil, getting Kane, burning Mist Village with the package, defeating the boss at the waterfall, and defeating OmniMamm wherever it is. And here we go.
Edge and Rydia start here with a pink tail. Really looking forward to our OmniMamm percent race here, where we're going to load up on gear, burn a village, and make a little calamari. What could be better on a Friday night?
We do see Bahamut is there hiding in Baron Castle. Nice to see, kind of, if you have the Star Veils, it's a free boss, but if you don't have the Star Veils, it can be very tricky.
We're getting an early look here in the Baron Inn with Edward and D-Mist.
Yeah, we don't have free key items or characters on, so you'd love to see the D-Mist location early.
Speaking of our dupe flag, if you look in the lower left at Solaris' screen, Solaris appears to be doing the dupe glitch and looks to have successfully pulled it off.
Yeah, this is a way to greatly increase both your money and your offensive power very early. Weapons are a very popular target for it. Actually, the money is surprisingly useful when it comes to the dupe glitch. Being able to get your basics, your potions, cabins, and then your star veils, your elixirs, your sirens, your utility items like that can get really expensive in the early game, but with the dupe glitch, you don't really have to worry about the cost, which is kind of why we've removed the golden apples and the soma drops from the shops.
Yeah, that could get a little out of hand, I imagine, with those adding a little bit extra to permanently adding stats to everybody. Um, but mixing in T Wildish and S Wild, that money really does kind of open up your options. Whether you want to hit shops or you want to do excessive looting, you really could get a little bit of everything here, depending on your playstyle.
Yeah, and we can see all of the players on screen right now, which, by the way, are just the features runner. That just like any of the other community races, we have many other racers who are off screen right now. But we're seeing a little bit slower play than normal as they use the fact that we have the dupe flag to kind of do a little bit more setup than we'd usually see before the opening bosses.
Dijon with the loot of Evelyn, I'm sorry, of uh, the early loot here. I did not get a chance to see what was in the basement there. Hopefully, just a couple arrows.
Oof. Meanwhile, Asuka finding defense swords for sale in the Village of Mist. That's going to be really great, especially here in the early game.
And just like that, our first objective down, Cecil found up on Hobbs, along with 2 D-Lunars.
I really like to see D-Lunars this early in the game. They can be quite tricky, basically because their counterattack script limits the options you have to deal with them, but at such a low HP spot, you can get them out of the way and get to one of your objectives here as we go.
I'm not sure if anyone checked the Kaipo bed. I might have missed that. I didn't see if there was a which character was there.
You know, chat is saying that it was Tella in the bed, which in any other flag set would be a great find if you could get that sand ruby, but I feel like in this flag set, maybe Tella is not as useful as he would be at other times.
We also have Neki on, as you can see Dijon Ketchup going through and equipping a rather sparsely equipped Edge. All the characters in Neki starting off with very limited equipment. I believe just a weapon and nothing else.
We are finding some excellent items in these shops, which is good news for our offensive power and the speed of these flags. We can see every single player now is taking advantage of the dupe glitch, getting these strong weapons from the shops. We have Fabul starting to be checked at both the shop, and we'll see the boss here soon. And everyone fading Antlion, though, still.
Well, that's because Antlion is not there. He's on the moon. They're just waiting to meet Antlion on the moon, right?
I would hope most of our players are hoping that they don't have to go to the moon at all, but it is important to note we do need to complete every objective tonight, so Octomammoth could be hiding anywhere, and this race will not be over until they find it.
Flares running into the Baron soldiers. This should be a pretty straightforward fight here.
Meanwhile, Asuka is showing us the required waterfall boss. Turns out it's Mylon Z. This is not going to be too tough to overcome.
Yep. Edge can dart Mylon Z away pretty quickly, and that will be it for our fourth objective.
Solaris has also showed us the hook at Fabul. So there's underground access if you want it. Of course, you can also fish for that magma key at some of the other boss spots we haven't seen yet.
We did see a couple of our runners go and get the free summon for Iridia at Hobbs, and it looks like it was Jin.
Yeah, not the best summon ever, but not the worst either, especially if you find yourself against enemies that are weak to fire, which is several of them. Going back to that hook, I don't know if in a situation where I have to find Octomammoth, if I'd want to get the Magma Key and skip those 2 boss spots. Because if Octomammoth is there, then I've just really given away my lead.
Not only that, you do have a character check there too, so that could be a Kane and an Octoman at a hook spot. It's possible. Definitely tempting.
Yeah, and the thing is, the hook route isn't as scary on this flag set because, as you can see, these darted defense swords are just making short work of everything here on the overworld.
Starting to wonder if it's at what point would you want to take your newly found Cecil over to Ordeals and unlock the Paladin and get a little bit of extra firepower for your party?
Well, that's the thing. Dark Knight Cecil can be surprisingly good in this flag set. Dark Wave is a pretty good move, and with the ability to actually equip good weapons, Dark Knight Cecil can actually still put out some damage. Paladin Cecil still strictly better stat-wise, especially in the HP growth section, though, so I would expect that most of our runners are going to do Ordeals anyways because there's 3 bosses there, but you never know. One of them might just be a Dark Knight Cecil diehard.
And we've run into a Water Hag, a free boss. This early is... I don't know if you really want to see a free boss this early. You'd kind of hope to see a free boss somewhere where it's a little bit more of a trickier proposition. But free is free, I suppose.
Yeah, we can see the runners are starting to overlap each other now. Lady ID and Asuka are both doing Fabul now, or have done Fabul. Meanwhile, let's see, Solaris is on Ordeals, and Dijon, I believe, is headed towards Ordeals as well.
Of note, I believe all our restreamed runners here have successfully pulled off the Duke glitch. I think that's it's a very nice thing to do. We'll make their experience tonight a little smoother, having all that cash lying around.
Coming here and getting the Adamant Rock from Mount Ordeals, and then showing us that the boss up here is actually going to be some more guards.
Yeah, the guards, not consider. I think these are the ones that don't have the boss bit, right? So you can actually you can inflict a lot of different statuses or even instant kill on them. Not that it matters when you have edge to fling very powerful swords at them.
Yeah, the Duke glitch is very strong here. You would not want to be in a position in the seed to not know how to do that. But luckily, the seed set is known ahead of time, so you can go ahead and practice that glitch before we get started.
Asuka entering Mysidia. I think this is our first look at the characters here. Oh no, there's no. That's right, no free characters here. Just shops.
Yeah, and our players may want to keep this shop in mind. You know, we saw Asuka go in and then come out of the weapon shop without buying anything, but there is a rune axe there, which is very useful under certain circumstances. So if they get stuck somewhere, like we said, the overworld and probably a lot of the underworld at this point, to be honest, are not going to be too rough with these, infinite darting. So it's going to be a bit before anybody starts banging their head against the boss, unless we get like a really badly placed, harder boss.
Right, and nobody's really, at least for those with the hook, nobody has really bitten on the hook route yet. But we'll see. We'll see. Everyone is sort of, as you said, overlapping and checking all the usual spots.
Dijon's showing us we did get a Bahamut summon from somewhere, so Rydia is actually going to be able to do something unique. You know, we have all these great weapons that everybody can equip, but that doesn't mean that the character abilities are useless. In fact, the magic users can still bring quite a lot of utility. We have seen Edge flaming a little bit, and of course, Dart is Edge exclusive as well.
That's right, yeah. And as Scythe Marshal, our intrepid tracker, has pointed out in chat, Bahamut was in a shop, and I believe that shop also had Sylph too.
You always like a good Sylph. We don't like the cast time and animation time of Sylph, but it can really save you, especially since it can deal damage to enemies that otherwise don't usually take a lot of magic damage.
I'm wondering, do you think this is a type of seed that lends itself to going and seeking out a lot of defensive equipment? Because it kind of feels like we're leaning towards heavy offensive power right now, and that defense is probably not going to be the highest priority.
Well, there is a couple of reasons why that would be in the seed. Number one, the Duplish only works on weapons, so getting offensive power is easier. Secondly, the defensive items are going to be a little bit harder to find, like in shops. Of course, so weapons are going to cost a lot. Money's no object for us, but there's a lot more different armor in the game to choose from as far as what armor is useful in different situations. So, for instance, right now, it'd be really nice for us to be able to stack a lot of magic power, increasing equipment on Rydia. You know, with Omnidextrous, you can get her 2 weapons that raise her magic, and then all the rest of her equipment can be the best magic raising equipment if you can get it. So we have to find it first.
What we did find instead was OmniMamm at Baron Inn. So that I think gives us insight into 3 objectives already.
Yeah, we know the boss of the waterfall can be beaten. Not all of our runners have gone there yet, but we know who it is and that it's going to be an easy win. We've seen Octomammoth, we've got Cecil, so now we're just looking for Kane. We're looking for the package. So really, we're incredibly close to actually having Go Mode on somebody if everything lines up.
Solaris going, checking his bonus round prize and getting a rat tail.
Well, we do have the hook available, so you can go ahead and check that rat tail and check the pink tail that we started with as well. A nice 1-2 punch there.
It would be the pigtail. It seems in this flag set would give us a free adamant armor, and unfortunately you can't do armor like we talked about. So it's just one, but one is still very good to strap on to someone, and the rat tail of course could be another key item. Speaking of, it looks like Dijon actually just stopped over and I believe just turned in a pink tail.
Yeah, I did not see what she got for it though.
Yeah, it looks like the pigtails are in fact adamant armor, and Asuka with the very quickly through Antlion Cave gets a ribbon.
Whoa, and we do see Solaris showing off the armor duplication glitch. To be honest, I've never done it in a live race myself. It is harder to do than weapon duplicating, but has just sold an entire stack of adamant armors.
Well then, yeah, that seems useful.
Oh, never mind. He wasn't duplicating them and selling them. He was buying them. He's now stocking up on the coffins too. Yeah.
Yeah, buying a whole bunch of coffins and lots of Bacchus wines.
Yeah, at this point, I think our runners have everything they need. It's time to get moving. We see Dijon already heading down the hook route. The choice to go down here earlier rather than later may actually end up really helping her.
Has been the key divergence point here thus far for the restreamed racers. With I believe Lady Id is going to be heading over and taking care of the waterfall boss very soon, now that they've dispatched the OmniMamm.
Oh yeah, and at this point, when I've seen this many objectives in the overworld, I'm starting to get very worried. Very worried indeed.
Dijon finding another small child in a cave. Not the cane we're looking for, but we still have boss checks to do. Should she decide to continue on? But it looks like nope. Had enough for the had enough cave that one.
Now we are looking at only a few character locations left for this cane to be. We have the Dwarf Castle, we have the Lunar Palace, which requires moon access, and we have the Giant of Babel, which requires moon access. So it's where this cane is going to determine how long or short this seat is at this point.
I believe Solaris just picked up a pass as well.
Well, I'd say that was worth the rat tail turn in.
Yeah, and Yeah, Solaris might be thinking that it is high time to head underground. He seems to be in a very good spot to hit when if and when they hit go mode. Uh, Stocked up on items with all the Bacchus wines, has the pass. Uh, Basically cleaned out the overworld. Where this could end pretty quickly.
Now, who needs a white mage when you can buy a stack of elixirs? If only mega elixirs existed in this game. Unfortunate.
Yeah, well, elixirs are certainly useful, certainly very useful in their own right.
Yeah, we see Solaris not even interested in any of these treasure chests anymore. The shopping was enough to get everything he needs, and I'm willing to bet getting head all the way down to the underground now.
And Asuka as well, dispatching the octopus is now going to go check bonus item, and all these runners are still fairly close to one another.
Yeah, there's not a lot of spread here. The overworld was fruitful, but is now funneling everyone into the same path. Dijon is wanting to cover all the bases and is going to go ahead and check Antlion Cave as well.
Yeah, it's at this point, I think, making sure that you've gone through most of the overworld. I would imagine you don't want to leave anything out there that when you go through the hook route, it's it's a bit of a commitment, right? It takes a while to get through there, even with a powered up party. That it does take time. You want to make sure that there's no real reason you want to head back up to the overworld to do any more checking, and that you can just focus on clearing everything out underground.
Yeah, with the battles so fast, it really is how many times you have to double dip and travel time that's going to slow you down at this point. We see just a ribbon from Antlion there, and the thing here is that package is required, right? So we are still hunting key items, but package also hides a character. So it could be a 2-for-1 type situation here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's going to be real interesting to see how each runner starts the underground. I think there's a lot of opportunity for divergence here, who at this point in the race feels like they need to make a move, feels like they need to either fade something. Having full cleared the overworld, I got to imagine in the back of your mind thinking, has everybody else done this, or has somebody else found something at this point?
I've got to expect that almost everyone is going to head to Sylph Cave because Baron Inn held the pan. So even if you're more character focused than key item focused, you really can't pass up the double key item check on that, in my opinion. Now, the players may fool me on this.
Looks like Solaris has hit the first of the bosses down here. It is Dr. Dialogue himself, Dr. Luge, and this ought to be quick. Well, as quick as it can be. And as Escorian points out in chat, Solaris is all decked out in adamant armor. So this, you know, don't be fooled by the low HP. There ain't going to be a lot of damage done to that party.
Yeah, I guess we have to think of now, once they get the package and once they find Kane, we are going to need some levels for Zeromus because even triple adamant armors can't save you from big bangs if your HP is too low. The question will be whether they need to find sirens or whether they're going to use some of the other leveling techniques available.
That's true. Sirens, you would hope, would be found in a shop down underground. Otherwise, if they're locked up on the moon, you might want to consider a few different options. I mean, if we see a Luca key, we could see a door grind. Or, you know, there's someone may want to use their starting edge to steal sirens. It might be a little slower that way, but it is certainly possible.
Yeah, and the community is well aware of that trick. It was definitely in use heavily in our last tournament, so edge getting sirens is definitely a thing. With the shops available and so much money, I gotta expect they'll try to shop for them first. Oh, and Solaris made quick work of that Dark Elf. We didn't even really mention the fight, but there's really nothing to it with this party and the tools available.
Yes, the Dark Elf did not stand a chance at all. Dijon Ketchup getting her Adamant Rock and is about to take on the final trial of Mount Ordeal.
Now, I do want to point out an interesting factor. This is looking way ahead in the seed, of course, but probably if you've watched a lot of Free Enterprise, you are familiar with the idea of agility anchoring. You notice that Lady Id has her Edward dead on purpose. I can only expect that is to create an agility anchor for the final fight, because Zeromus actually bases its speed on certain of your characters, in this case being the middle slot of your party, and adamant armors add a lot of speed. So I'm not actually sure. I've never went into Zeromus with a party where everyone had an extra 45 speed, but it kind of throws off your normal Zeromus play.
Yeah, I mean, that as many in the community refer to agility anchoring correctly as wizardry. From what I understand, you know, that kind of relative agility difference will not only make your party faster, but it will also make your opponent faster as well. And a fast Z fight could present problems, but you know, we will see. Perhaps this is an intentional strategy. Maybe this is for you know, a lower level play to still be able to go quicker. We'll wait and see. It'll be very interesting to see as everyone is you know, seems to be tightly grouped here. So it'll be interesting to see whose strategy has any sort of advantage when we get to the end.
Yeah, and the good thing for the players is that we have had Bacchus wines available, and of course we are a very physical bruising party now with all these free weapons that everyone can equip. So I do believe if you just throw some Bacchus wines on everyone, you should be able to clog up the queue enough that Zeromus really can't advance its turn very well.
And the sisters are the first of our Dwarf Castle fights.
You know, and I did say the players may prove me wrong. We can see Solaris wanting to know who the character is here first before checking Yang.
Yeah, I like this play. I like trying to see if we can just find Arcane, get a key item out of it. I think this is a sensible choice. Certainly, there's no, I would say, no right answer all the time in any sort of free enterprise randomizer. But I think I like this choice very much.
Whew. And this is about the only flag set that you'll be able to see Iridia at this low of level almost hit quad 9s with a Bahamut. That's because of so much stat gain from the equipment. Oh, and heck, it's Kane. That's what we needed. Solaris is very happy to see this.
By God, it is Kane. Oh, and there was Rubicon.
Now, if this key item is also the package, it can be said that Dwarf Castle held the world.
Asuka, meanwhile, has gone and smacked Kane with the pan. I did not see if what Sylph provided, but it doesn't look like Asuka is going to cash in Sheila at this point. Seems to be, well, maybe dropping a safety save.
Yeah, it looks like it was the Baron key from the Sylphs. And meanwhile, Dwarf Castle had the Sand Ruby, so still no package. Our players still on the hunt. And remember, it's not just the key item locations. They also have the summon monster bosses to contend with and moon bosses. All could be potentially holding this last item we need.
And Solaris has confirmed that our job dwarf is a security guard tonight. Oh ho ho! Hello, crystal swords.
So tempting, but so unfortunate that they can't be thrown. It's wild. You can throw the holy sword forged by Kokol himself, but not a crystal sword you just found in a box somewhere.
We have Sheila paying out a Luca key and an Earth crystal. Very interesting. That's an interesting decision, I think. We could. Those are two spots. I think you could still find. We could still find what we need. A lot of options have now opened up for Asuka.
Well, the thing is, Asuka did not do Dwarf Castle yet, so she does not know that Kane is there and may be tempted to do the Earth Crystal for the double character check.
Yeah, indeed. This is exactly what I was talking about. With Underground could cause a bit of divergence. You get a key item that that leads into a bit of a rabbit hole. And you have a lot of other checks that you could still do right in front of you on the Underground, for example. You know, you really have to make a choice and commit to it, and oftentimes that'll burn you. You never know. You just have to kind of pick it and stick it.
Meanwhile, 3 of our players finding sirens in the Feymarch shop. So that's the last kind of utility tool we were looking for. That means the only question is now what order they do everything in. Everything they need is here. They just need to figure out where to go first.
Yeah, and the prospects of heading off to the moon tonight are fading fast. Everything seems to be coming up for us here on the blue planet tonight.
See Asuka getting into a battle to do a little bit of extra duping. And then Solaris is showing us what this first boss is. Oh, it's Wyvern. That's unfortunate. Can we get the Star Veils or Moon Veils out in time? And it looks like Solaris is going to be safe here.
Very, very quick thinking on Solaris' part. Run buffering in a fit of desperation to just get enough clog in that ATV pool to get a couple, as many Star Veils up as possible.
Yeah, this is where you're gonna see that extra agility from those adamant armors really paying off, because you can see before Wyvern even gets the wall up, almost the entire party is standing again and already swinging.
Unfortunately, Wyvern only has an Artemis bow for us tonight. And we'll see if Solaris decides to take on the second of the Fey Marsh bosses. Meanwhile, Lady Id is about to finish up, I believe, Dwarf Castle here. We'll move on to Rubicant. Dijon Ketchup is about to get to the end of the hook route.
Full adamants and crystals for everybody on Solaris' screen, so once some levels are on this party, it's game over for whoever they meet.
Certainly wouldn't want to meet dual-wielding Crystal Sword, Rydia, in a dark alley.
Oh, and even taking the time to back row glitch Kane, which you don't often see because usually you can't equip the items that most of the items that allow back row glitch.
Oh boy, was that? Yes, it was. That is the alt gauntlet.
Pretty rare one to see, so be ready for some enemies that you're not usually seeing. And believe it or not, some of the random encounters in Final Fantasy IV can trip you up quite a bit if you're not used to fighting them, which most 300 players are not. I really hope this pays off for Solaris, because this is a lot of time to spend if this is not a package or some other progression.
Yeah, absolutely. Asuka with the same idea too. Oh, and a magma key. That is not ideal.
Oof, that is rough. Now, the good thing is that Asuka has also chosen to fight this boss. And if Lady Id and Dijon also decide to fight it, then it will be kind of a wash for our on-screen racers at least.
True enough. Asuka, though, with some options, if this, once this fight is over and she realizes that it isn't going to pay off, unfortunately, this will cue her to go either into the Tower of Zot or hit up Luca Cave.
Yeah, and depending, our players that know Kane is in Dwarf Castle can probably fade Earth Crystal or leave it till last at least, whereas our players who have not done Dwarf Castle yet would be well to do it first, usually, we know that Kane isn't there, but it's too tempting to pass up, double character slot.
Asuka now on her way to find a Kane. And I believe we're really, I think at this point, you'd probably like to see a Darkness Crystal. That might be very well where our package is tonight.
Yeah, we can see our players are starting to go back and check the spots they've faded. So we're coming down to the wire here. It's really turning up like the package definitely could be on the moon at this point.
Yeah, with this flag set, K main, K summon, K moon, a key item hunt here. There's still a lot of possibilities out there where that package could be.
Yeah, and we see Solaris playing the odds here. Baron Castle does yield 2 key items, one for the throne and one in the basement at the Odin summon spot. So this is smart. What can I say? You have more of a chance here than anywhere else available right now.
Yep, item density here. You get a lot of checks here for one location relative to anywhere else you have open to you at this moment.
And poor Bahamut, the King of Dragons, who's not actually a dragon, is going to go down very quickly here to his own summon.
Oh, that is just cold. That's cold. Well, it's nuke, but...
Yeah, and as expected, no saving necessary, just going to go straight to the throne room. Meanwhile, Dijon is fighting Dr. Luge again, actually took a wipe before. Doesn't actually have some of the firepower and defensive items that Solaris did going down there.
And that is unfortunate. Although she does have Bahamut on her Rydia, which will do a little heavy lifting here.
Okay, well now it looks like all of our players that have made it underground have found the Kane at Dwarf Castle. So Dijon is the only one who is still going to be looking for that Kane. Hopefully finds him quick so that she doesn't get tricked into going down a path that is not necessary.
Escorian asking in chat if Asuka visited Troya, and I don't believe she has. Oh, she did. Okay.
Yeah, it's a real shame that not all of our players went there. They all spent so much time shopping, but that armor shop in Troya is the one that had the adamants for sale.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yes, I didn't remember seeing which town those were in. I did see them come up on Solaris' side. Very useful indeed. Meanwhile, though, Asuka is taking the time to beef up the party by cracking a few eggs.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Although we have all the offensive firepower in the world, getting the HP counts up is going to help a lot as far as breezing through the rest of the checks, especially if those checks happen to lead to the moon. Solaris has shown us an evil wall down here in the Baron basement. This should not be too much of an issue considering the speed of his party right now, already boccusing the edge.
Yeah, speed and power. I mean, speed is really the key here with Evil Wall, typically, with those adamant armors and a whole truckload of damage. Evil Wall, I don't even think had an opportunity to move.
Now, Solaris came down here looking for the package, but Baron proper did give the Darkness Crystal, so Solaris now has everywhere available, only getting the Twin Harp here. We might not get to see music here tonight, folks, because the moon is going to be way more key item heavy. So I'm not sure if Solaris is going to check that Twin Harp first or go straight to the moon now.
Yeah, tough. That seems likely. The moon, certainly a lot more options available to you. Compared to a one long check in Harp.
I do love this though. Our racers are all over the place. Dijon is still going through the Dark Elf fight. Asuka is showing us Luca Cave, or the Sealed Cave, and Solaris has already shown us Baron is now going to go to, I have to expect, Mysidia has switched to airships.
Well. Color me surprised. It looks like we may be getting music after all.
Never doubt the pressure that the fans exert on players when they know they're being restreamed.
And Asuka finds a tower key at the end of the Sealed Cave.
You know, if you're already down there and you find that here, I feel like you have to chase it at this point. It is a 2-for-1 key item spots, and it's right here, whereas Baron Castle is up in the overworld. There's probably nothing that will really challenge Asuka in the tower either, so it seems like a fair play that she's going to go there next after defeating the CPU.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. That seems like the next logical choice. And good news for Lady Id, she is heading off to Baron. Will pick up that Darkness Crystal.
Asuka, not even playing it safe with CPU, has gone ahead and killed the attacker and defender. Just gonna eat those Globe 199s.
I believe that is called YOLO straps, where you just go for it.
Asuka does have a black mage, so can at least warp out of Sealed Cave. You may or may not know that due to the programming of Final Fantasy IV, mainly being that there's a cutscene at the end of this dungeon, usually when you exit it, the game does not let you exit the Sealed Cave because it doesn't want you to be able to skip that cutscene. So the only quick way is to warp floor by floor.
And that was DJ Spoony B with a wonderful selection from Final Fantasy VI.
Solaris giving the fans what they want as far as the music goes, but striking out as far as the key item is concerned.
Yeah, that hurts, and they have taken a lap for good measure.
Well, Asuka's going to show us here if Tower pays off, and if not, then we're looking at either the Earth Crystal or the Moon. being what's necessary. I wonder if Solaris is already here, so Earth Crystal would be a quick check, but does not look like he is interested, not going to the castle, instead heading over to Mysidia for that big whale. Oh no, Fabul first.
I actually think Earth Crystal ended up being a bust. I believe Lady Id completed the Tower of Zot and got a gold apple out of it, or a silver, or got an apple, I believe, out of it. A silver apple, yeah.
Oof, so we're really hoping for Asuka to find something here, or else it's going to be the moon.
Lady Id is also looking to take on Evil Wall, it looks like.
Yeah, likewise, Solaris is doubling back to Antlion Cave, so turning over every stone before heading to the moon. I don't blame anyone here for doing that, especially because the possibilities on the moon become problematic. You know, do you go to Bahamut first? Do you go top first? Do you go bottom first? You have a lot of choices, and with each choice comes risk.
Absolutely, and I think with so few checks left here on the blue planet, it probably pays to take the extra time to just be absolutely certain that that a full commitment to the moon is really the right play.
We can see here, Dijon still contending with the Dark Elf. Has it in the second form, which is can be wheat, but unfortunately doesn't have a good source of wheat alive right now.
Yeah, it's still hanging on there. Hopefully manages to hang on long enough to pull through this fight.
Yeah, it looks like to me like Dijon hasn't actually duplicated some of those weapons. Doesn't have the overpowered darting available, and hasn't found a lot of the good armor that was available to our other players either. That's making this fight a lot tougher. It just has a lot less to work with.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with how much with HP levels at a lot of these spots. Is this? Do you know if this is a? I'm not sure if this is a high HP spot or if this is considered. You know, if this is still relatively low. When it comes, I believe this is the hook spot, right?
Yeah, this is the second hook spot. It does have more HP, quite a bit more than the first hook spot. This is normally where you would fight Rubicant, if I'm not mistaken. And does get through just barely. Nice work, Dijon, getting into the underground.
Excellent work getting through that. And Asuka has picked up the package from the cannon room and will burn down the village and get that crystal. And I believe is the first person in the restream here on Go mode.
Yeah, very nice. And Asuka's the only one that's done Sealed Cave so far on the restream as well, which turns out to be required because it's what led to the tower key. So Moon is not the way. Solaris now will be finding that tower key from Sealed Cave. Should be on the way as well. But Asuka quite a bit in the lead now and has already gained some levels as well.
Absolutely, Moon not required today. You gotta hope now that for the other runners that do have and will get that Darkness Crystal, that they avoid the temptation to drag off to the Moon, because that would be a very long detour. Solaris now immediately heading off to the tower after the Sealed Cave.
Yeah, this is going to be good. Solaris can definitely cement a second place finish here by getting up here, getting the package, and then going and gaining some levels, because Solaris already has the pass, so no need to go to the Moon at all in this seed.
I think Asuka is going to go for it.
Yeah, the levels are pretty low, HP levels pretty low. In a normal seed, we'd like to see some HPs around 2200 and above to be able to make sure you survive the strongest big bangs, but stacked up with adamant armors makes it a little less risky, and probably Asuka with this seed feels like she's got to go now. She doesn't know who has already gotten there.
But the pass is going to get there very quick, and Motas, I'm seeing a few things in chat. Some Z flags?
Well, I believe there's a customary phrase in the community that we like to say now related to the randomization of Zeromus. And I think seeing us out, I don't know if the viewers know this is your first night commentating, I will allow you to do the honors.
You are too kind. Well, everybody, you can't randomize Z's location, so how are you going to randomize Z? Well, by changing the sprite. So we ask ourselves tonight, everybody, Free Enterprise fans, whose butt are we going to kick tonight? And is it
As we figure out what that sprite's going to be, we see Lady Id has been baited, is up on the Moon, has found a Fusoya. Great find, usually. Now it doesn't really, he's not as powerful as we would like. His stats don't go up, and his HP doesn't go up either. But can still use a lot of your utility magic and white magic. But I'm interested to see if Lady Id is going to stay up here and do some moon checks, because if she does, it's going to backfire big time.
Yeah, that'll be a tough pill to swallow, going through all these checks and finding not progression. And Asuka shows us that it is Protomus tonight.
And I honestly think Asuka is not going to do anything here except Bacchus everyone.
Yeah, with damage numbers like that, this might be over pretty quick.
You love to see a Bacchus Palom.
And a Bacchus Edward, too.
Wow, already gone. Asuka is our first on-stream finish tonight.
Incredibly fast. GG's to Asuka for that race.
Yeah, it could be one of the fastest Zeromas fights I've ever seen. Asuka is finishing now. I'm looking at our off-screen finishes, and Asuka is actually in 7th place with an official time there of 1 hour, 2 minutes, and a partial second.
Hi.
Welcome, GG's Asuka. That was an incredibly fast Zemus fight.
Yeah, Quinting does wonders with double crystal sword. I thought about using Silk Web with which twin did I have? Palom. I'm like, nah, we just go burn now. I want to end this.
Absolutely, yeah. And it ended very quickly. For a moment, I did think, with bringing Edward up there, I'm like, are we gonna see Edward do a little hiding? But then once all the Bogus Wines came out, it was like, no, we're just gonna chainsaw this.
Yeah, we're just ending it. I just remember it's like, okay, looking at the 5, who's the slowpoke? It's the child, I think. We're running with it.
Well, I want to get to the heart of the matter here, which is that of the on-stream runners, your choice to check Luca Cave, the Luca Key and Sealed Cave early, actually is what led you to be our first finisher on screen. So what made you do Sealed Cave before checking all the other stuff?
Wait, I was the first one restream done?
You
Seriously?
are our first restream finisher.
Oh yeah. Heck and fluff. Holy heck. Luca. Oh yeah, Luca. I did the pan. I think it was like Baron Key and Earth Crystal, and I've been hanging around PK way too much to go into Baron. So I was gonna, like, you know what? If I'm fading Baron, I'm fading Earth too. There's still other character checks I can go to. Went to Dwarf, found Kane, and I'm like, all right, Luca, it's quick. I can look at the key item. I can reset if I don't like it. And it was a tower key, and I'm like, I can't reset off of that. Heck. All right, let's follow it. Because tower key or tower also tends to burn me if I don't go to it. So, yeah, it kind of just works.
Yeah, no, that was for sure the right choice. Heading up, I believe Zot ended up being an apple, so that was the right check. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and if you had done Baron, you would have found a Darkness Crystal, which Lady Id is currently checking all the bosses for right now. But the moon is completely 100% haunted this seed, not required in any way, shape, or form.
I noticed.
It's very, very nice that you did not go to Baron and find the Darkness Crystal, because I believe you, like many runners, may have been baited to go to the moon at that point.
Oh yeah, with K-Summon Moon, with the moon portion completely untapped, it's like, yeah, but at the same time, with all I had left to do was find that package. I'm like, I think I can do the other checks a little faster, even though I'm kitted out with way too many pieces of crystal rings and adamant armor and giant shiny swords that I made sure to sell. Oh wait, there we go. Let's see.
Yeah,
Why Final Fantasy VI? Why?
Yeah, Baron was a bit of Baron was a rough play. Finding Darkness Crystal from Baron, and in the basement you would get Twin Harp, which would have also led you to, I believe that was another dead end.
Ooh.
Yeah.
As I've been hanging around the team Never Baron, unless it's required, then still Never Baron. And yeah, it's honestly because I've been doing quite a bit of Supermarket Sweep. There are certain checks that I've been prioritizing over others, and Luca Key, especially if I'm key item hunting, it's a pretty early check for me. So it's like, all right, I have a tower key. I gotta follow this now because that's 2 key items right there. Well, an add-on armor from a heckin' turtle. And, oh look, a box. I need this.
Well, Oscar, we are seeing now that Solaris has been completed here, second of the restreamed runners. But not to put you on the spot, but we are both working behind the scenes at Games Done Quick this coming week.
No.
But you, the community may not know, are a Resogun speedrunner and are running that game at Games Done Quick this week.
Yeah.
I also believe world record holder too, right?
Yeah, I got a few world records in that game. And might as well go the whole 9 yards. I'm hosting too. So I'm also behind the scenes. But yeah, Sunday, July 4th, I'm doing a hosting bit pretty early. Time escapes me off the top of my head. If you're awake Tuesday morning, July 6th at I think it's like 4:46 a.m. Eastern, you'll get to see games that I actually am good at, like shoot 'em ups, and particularly Resogun. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. So tune in. It's for a great cause.
It is going to be great. Well, thank you for coming on the restream tonight. You showed us a good finish.
Thanks,
Yeah,
and
GG's.
thanks, and shout out to Scythe and Esco doing tracking and restreaming behind the scenes. Joe and Motos. Joe, it's great to see you on mic. I don't know if this is your first one. I think.
Yes, it is my first. Yes.
Yay! So GG's and Motos, it's so good to see you back. We missed you. So yeah, shout out to all of them. Shout out to all the fellow restreamed and everyone else racing. Y'all are awesome. Hearts. Until next time, GG's. Bye-bye.
We'll see you around, Oscar. And we are now going to bring in our second on-screen finisher, Solaris. Hey, Solaris.
Hey, how's it going?
GG's Solaris. That was a very quick Z fight as well. I suspect when you're all kitted up with adamants and crystal swords that it doesn't really take much to take them.
Apparently not. I've never done omnidextrous before. I haven't run this flag set before. It was like, well, I have plus 45 agility on everybody. Oh, and crystal sword probably is. I don't know if that gives agility. I was like, it's probably fine. Whatever. I'm just going.
Yeah, very nice. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you were the first of our on-screen runners who made it underground, and the first to complete the first 4 objectives. So you were doing quite well in the early to mid game as well. I don't know if you knew that or you felt that.
I kind of figured I was doing pretty well. I didn't know how well exactly, but when you're looking for one key item, you know, it could be literally anywhere. And I think the way I routed it was not how I would. It was not try-hard routing. I mean, it was still efficient routing, but I was just kind of hoping package wasn't like available immediately. I wanted this to go, I don't know, a little long. I mean, how often do you get to play with so many cool toys?
Yeah, exactly. I gotta ask, speaking of routing, how much did the darkness crystal weigh in the back of your mind before finding package?
Well, by the time I was running the tower key out, I was looking back at those flags going, it is K, Summon, and Moon, right? Because this is played out like K-Main. Apparently nothing was on the Moon. Or, I guess the Spoon and... I don't know where the Legend Sword was, but... Like, it was on my mind, but... Basically, once I started seeing people finish, it was like, well... Maybe, like, one person might have gone to the Moon, but then you see, like, 2, 3, 4, and it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's on Earth.
Yeah, definitely the right call, not going up to the Moon.
Yeah, I mean, Solaris, you completed in 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 26 seconds, and that was 10th. You know, this was a very fast seed and very good play from you. So that is good, being able to use the meta knowledge and saying like, holy heck, like a lot of people have finished already. There's no way they checked the whole moon, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, so in one hand, I'm kind of sad we didn't get to go to the moon and do silly things on the moon. There's also some bosses we haven't seen yet that might have been just kind of amusing, like DKC, but I mean, it's like,
oh,
okay,
you mean like Antlion at Wyvern, which is a real thing that exists in the seed?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would have been great. I would have loved to see that. But I was like, okay, well, I know it's on Earth. If I go to the moon, I mean, I will be holding this restream hostage. I don't want to do that.
I'm sorry to stop the interview real quick, but Lady Id actually did find a legend sword from Bahamut on the moon. So we may actually see a super smith today if she decides to forge something with that.
Oh, I want to know what it is.
Well, yeah, it looks like she's bailing from the moon. Maybe thinking, you know what? Why not?
Yeah, maybe. Did anyone find an Avenger?
I don't believe so yet. And in fact, you were the first one to find those adamants in Troya as well, which greatly contributed to your speed in the early and mid game.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'd like Avengers or Heroine Robes or Dragon Whips or something that just gives me speed and also takes advantage of this wacky flag set. And I was like, okay, Adamant Armors does it by far. I guess I'm wearing, 15 of those?
Now, we did wonder once you got underground whether you were going to prioritize looking for key items or characters, and we saw you did Dwarf Castle fairly quickly. Were you just, really trying to find that cane as soon as possible so you knew you'd have your party locked in, or what was your thought process there?
Yeah, it's two things. One, it's efficiency of just trying to get through all the checks as fast as possible. Either I think it's just all under freebies, and I go chase, the pan that I had and the Fey March, and just follow whatever those chains are, or I kind of think maybe if I just route really efficiently through everything possible and it goes kind of late. So I was just kind of on that mindset, like, yeah, I'll just pick that. And then Dwarf Castle, just like, I know I can do it, and I know there's a character here. I have to find Kane somehow eventually, so that's pretty much why I went there.
Very good. Well, is there anything else you'd like to say about this seed before we get back to the action?
No, just thanks so much. Thanks for having me on Restream. Thank you and Joe Fuzz for doing comms. This is Joe Fuzz's first comms assignment, I believe, so kudos. And thank you so much, Esco, for the Restream, and Scythe for being on tracking. Of course, there's no show without all of y'all. So thanks so much. And no, that's it for me. Till next time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Solaris, and GG's again.
Thank you. Cheers.
Now, while we go back here to see what Dijon and Lady Id are up to, Lady Id is checking music, which we know is a bust. But also, I'd like to point out that Lady Id cleared the moon entirely very quickly, like within 10 minutes. Cleared the entire lunar subterrane plus Cave Bahamut. Very impressive. It may have been completely haunted this time, but she did not waste too much time actually getting it done.
Yeah, an absolute sprint through the moon. With Dijon now hitting up Baron, we'll at least get the Darkness Crystal. And still it looks like it has not done Dwarf Castle, but has the Luca key. So we'll see where she goes after seeing the Darkness Crystal here.
Yeah, the good thing in Dijon's case is, although Dijon's party is lacking a lot of the power that the other runners had, there's always those sirens in Fey March available in order to give a little boost. It takes time to level, but the levels do solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, you're right. And when you put it that way and you look at the party comp with two edges, a Cecil, I mean, I think you're right there alone. I think the levels are going to do wonders for this party.
And this actually went so fast on the other players that I didn't even realize that it was Vigan up here in the Baron throne, basically. Little swapperino French vanilla happening here.
This has been an excessively fast seed.
Lady Id heading to the Fame Arch to get the double bust here from the King and Queen spot. Meanwhile, Dijon's finding the Rosa in Baron Castle, gonna get the Darkness Crystal here. Hopefully decides to check everywhere else first before the moon, but we'll see what happens.
While we have a moment here, I think this is a good time to remind everybody, please give these amazing racers a follow. Not just because they're brave enough to be restreamed, but because they're all awesome free enterprise players and really swell people in general.
So true, so true. While we were waiting for Lady Id and Dijon to kind of run through these couple of bus checks, I do want to mention some of the off-screen finishes. In first place tonight was Antidale with a finish of 48 minutes and 34 seconds. Might be worth watching that VOD later. Quite quick there. Second was Beer Nerd with 53:19. Then Rex Banner with 54:10. Klopfer with 55:34. And Sorbius with 59:04. That rounds out all of the less than an hour finishes there. Pretty impressive. I'd also like to point out that Harump finished just 1 minute, actually less than a minute, 49 seconds before Asuka. So this was very close, even off screen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think really just a testament to how talented everyone, not just here on the restream, but in our community, how talented they are at this game. Just a labor of love, if you will, to keep coming back and playing some free enterprise.
Life staff in one hand and Dragoon Spear in the other. You love to see it. If you haven't tried any of the wacky flags yourself, I gotta say I highly recommend it. There's a big variety. You can make it choose a random one or choose one for yourself in the seed generator. There's some documentation on the wiki about what each one does if you want to be spoiled, or if you want to be surprised. The seed tells you nothing about what you're getting into. The first time people rolled Omnidextrous, they had no clue what the flag actually does.
Yeah, these wacky flags are a hoot. And if you haven't already, please take a moment and make sure you're following the Free Enterprise channel. Not just for more races like this, of course, which happen every Monday and Friday. We feature community races. But tomorrow there is the Wacky Races. 2 p.m. I believe, 2 p.m. Eastern. I believe the flag set is featured. It's called Gotta Go Fast, and that that promises to be quite a ride.
Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be some hilarious times tomorrow, for sure. We see Lady Id here is going up the tower, but does not have the tower key from Sealed Cave. So this is going to be a guaranteed double dip here, because the top of tower isn't what is needed. The cannon room is needed here.
Yeah, and you know, being cursed with the knowledge of knowing that this isn't the right play. I mean, you know, from Lady Id's perspective, you know, I think, you know, this isn't a bad call at all. Just kind of, you know, it is relatively quick to run up here, and with this kind of power, just get through the boss really quick, and you have a key item right there. You know, it's unfortunate that the double dip is required, but not a bad play if you feel as though you need to make a bold play.
Oh yeah, for sure. Top of tower is much faster than doing Sealed Cave, so if it pays off, you save some time. Dijon, meanwhile, just barely getting it through that evil wall fight, but did get through it, finding the music. We gotta expect we'll be chasing that at that point. It's not gonna play out, but for the fans, you know, they just love it. The fans love the music. What can you say?
Absolutely. Dijon heading back underground, appearing to not be swayed thus far by the prospect of music.
Coming down here to get the heal from the dwarf bot. I wonder, because if we see Sealed Cave here, this could send Dijon on her way.
Better yet, looks like this is Dijon getting cane. Now Lady Id is learning that, unfortunately, that is the alt gauntlet.
Yeah, we're always very happy to see the alt gauntlet, because it lets us see enemies that we haven't seen for a while, and also just because, you know, the audience does like to troll the runners. But at this point, wow, it's such a sunk amount of time for what we know is not a payoff.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. But I believe in Lady Id's case, there are very few checks left for her to make. I think it is going to be a very short time before we see her heading off to Sealed Cave. I have to imagine.
Yeah, she only skipped one boss on the moon. It was a Dark Knight Cecil, and other than that, there's really just this check and the ones that will lead her to Zeromus. So, you know, Lady Id is gonna still come through the seed with basically as close as you could get to a full clear, and still be completing in a decent amount of time.
Yeah, that magma key, never any. It's never any less insulting when you see it buried in the underground.
Yeah, it's just like thanks, Seed. That's what I wanted for sure. Oh, hey, we're gonna get an idea of what the Supersmith item is. This is one of the newer flags. Lets you get, instead of the Excalibur, one of the Game Boy Advance additions to the super weapon pool, which includes a super weapon for each character.
Ooh, a piggy sword. I'm not as versed in the in those weapons, But I do remember getting one of those at one point. I believe it's the affectionately named Piggy Stick is basically a sword that just turns your enemies into pigs.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't know what kind of voodoo Boardface had to do to get these items in the game, because there's like an item limit that we rapidly were running up against in Free Enterprise, as well as the fact that up until this point, we hadn't actually, Boardface hadn't actually fabricated any items that weren't in the Super Nintendo version of the game, and these he had to basically put in from scratch, because of course they don't exist in this version of the game at all.
And we are going to visit the giant, it looks like. Now, I can only imagine, because this is not a key item, so I can only imagine a grind? Perhaps?
Well, has Lady Id done Dwarf Castle? Does she think Kane is here?
Yeah, someone in chat asking about Demas. Demas was Baron Inn, I believe. Taken a while back. And Scalakaty dropping knowledge about the workaround for that item. It looks like it's just one item per seed, and that apparently fits in just under the limit.
Wow, the elements at the elements spot. You love to see it.
Vanilla. Yeah, just as vanilla as you can get.
This boss spot is actually pretty tricky on giant percent seeds because of the HP being combined usually for a single boss enemy rather than the 4-phase boss enemy that is the elements. So it's actually a little bit easier than some of the bosses that could be here to just have the original boss here.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say this would normally be a cakewalk either, but I think everybody here is well leveled up and with plenty of armor that this really shouldn't be a challenge at all. In the meantime, Dijon Ketchup starting the fight with the Magus sisters, and one step closer to picking up that cake.
I'm interested to see what, we would under normal circumstances never see these bosses in this flag set unless Kane was hidden here. So we'll see what the last boss here is that's in the CPU spot. I'm just interested now. I just want to know.
Absolutely. Although a bit appropriate, right? I mean, the CPU spot is a bit of a tank with HP, and as is our party here. It looks like Mom Bomb is waiting for us.
This is actually great news because Mom Bomb gets an extra 10,000 hit points to make up for the fact that it explodes. And at early boss spots, it can be kind of tricky, but here it's actually going to be more likely that Lady Id can actually get through it before it explodes.
And so it goes. Yep. a blink and you miss it Rubicon again. And a Porum. Up on the Giant.
That's all the characters, folks. And we checked every single spot. Meanwhile, Dijon is likewise running out of checks to make. Only so many left on the blue planet.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where these two head next, as Lady Id looks to be heading in the right direction.
Yeah, here we go. This will funnel Lady Id straight to Zeromus. Get the tower key here, defeat the cannon room, and go, go, go.
Yeah, certainly, as Ascorian points out in chat, I certainly am eager to speak with Lady Id if she decides to join us for an interview after this, to get her thoughts on the seed and how it went overall for her. And yeah, even Dijon as well. Be really interested to see, because I think we've got from our first two runners to our next two here on the restream, I think we have a very different perspectives on how this whole seed played out.
Keyless Tower, though, it feels so good when it actually, pays off for you. I can see why runners do it.
100%. And I think, in a position like this in a race, maybe if you feel behind, you're looking at that and that could be the, that could be the play, that could be the hit of serotonin I need to be like, yes, I'm on my way. I made a good play. We can just wrap this up, right?
Yeah, we can see here that Lady Id has gained a mega mountain of levels by doing the moon. So it's not going to need any further leveling once she actually gets the necessary items. Cecil sitting at 3,400 health, Kane sitting over 3,000. With Bacchus's in hand, there's probably not going to be more than one big bang, if that. So not a huge problem.
True. While not coming away with any of the key items required for go mode here, you can look at the moon trip to be as essentially your grind, right? Perhaps it's more of a grind than you would have done if you had sirens, maybe not. But the plus side is you are completely power overwhelming. You don't have to really think too hard about burning through the remainder of this seed. It is your sole focus now can really be on let's try to track down that package. And Dijon making the long walk down from the tower, which is it still upsets me to know that you can't just exit out. You do have to walk the entire way down in order to see the cutscene, which we won't see here because Cannon Room was not done. But nonetheless, you are still required to walk it all the way back down.
Yeah, I would love to see the Luca play here from Dijon. Since she's already underground, I hope it's more attractive than Baron Castle. Even though Baron Castle is the mathematical play. Ooh, going south. There we go.
Absolutely love to see it. You know, excellent. You know, excellent choice, and not something you know in the at the time while you're in the middle of it. But from our perspective here, as the commentary and the audience, certainly certainly love to see it.
That's good here. Dijon will not get moonbaited. Hopefully, after finding this tower key, we'll just go ahead and go back to the tower before deciding to check any other spots.
And speaking of tower, Lady Id now descending after the Cannon Room boss will receive exactly what they're looking for in the package. Dijon looking to make very quick work of this CPU. At this point, really shouldn't have any trouble whatsoever.
Yep, we see Lady D's got the goods. Gonna go burn down Mist with that newly found package.
Our poor only Kane, I'm not sorry, only Yang is sort of left hanging in a burning village. Very sad. Yes, as Ascorian pointing out, Yang is probably not the best character choice for this flag set.
You know, I'm looking at Dijon Ketchup's party as well. It doesn't look like she's going to need that many more levels either, actually, now that it looks like it. I think by the time she gets into go mode after the tower, I think she'll also be able to just Quint Zerk and go, depending on the weapons. I don't think she has quite the weapon selection of the others, which may make her have to actually survive some big bangs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I still think, yeah, I still think there's enough levels here. Dijon was swinging for about, you know, somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 on CPU with Edge. You know, no adamant armors, but so yeah, I think you could probably Zerk up. You know, obviously not everybody, but you could probably Zerk up most of your party and you know, nerf the Big Bang with an item as necessary.
And the thing is, they're going to be using the pass to go to Zeromus. and you use the pass in Troya, which is where the adamant armors are. Unfortunately, Lady Id is finding Bacchus there in the shop, but is not going to go to the armor shop and find those adamants, which would make this Zeromus way easier. Just passing it up. I don't blame. I mean, at this point, you just want to go.
Yeah, and I think with such overwhelming offense, right? You know, you're probably going in knowing like, all right, maybe have to nerf a Big Bang, but with levels so high, maybe you just make it through, right? You know, you either nerf one and then just say, I'm just gonna coast on Bacchus 1 for the rest of the fight. We'll see. But I certainly think with all of this offense, we really are still looking at a pretty quick Z fight.
Yeah, and you do have a Fusoya stacked up with tiaras if you want. If you need a white mage, that's going to really boost. Usually his Cure 4s aren't the greatest, but with that extra magic power from the equipment, it's going to make up for that. The only thing you got to watch out for is MP, but with the offense you've been talking about, you're not going to need to worry about Fusoya running out of MP.
Yeah, exactly. You're in a sprint to the finish line at this point. And Dijon wrapping up the cannon room, set to get the package after completing the walk back down. Very good routing once again by Dijon. You know, immediately recognizing after getting that tower key, saying, you know what, no, that's the next stop.
Yeah, and is actually going to be heading in to this Zeromus fight not too far behind Lady Id, so it just goes to show like completely different routes from these two players, but they're going to be getting to the end at very close to the same time for the seed length.
And with that, Dijon quickly dismissing the message, saying, "That's it, I'm out."
You know, we didn't really look at this Protomus sprite too close than the other two, but I like it. I like particularly that it's not any bigger than it normally is within its own game. It hasn't been the size hasn't been increased at all.
Yeah. Shout out to I believe Scala, who is the sprite designer here. Scala does an amazing job with all of the sprites that are in Free Enterprise. Protomus being no exception to that. Absolutely, love the authentic retro Proto-Man here. Oh, and Scala is pointing out in chat this one was actually born. Excellent work from Board, and Scala still, if for those of you who are in the community, know very well Scala's prolific talent with all of the sprite work in the random Zeromus sprite. Used to always want to play as Proto-Man back then. I think, was it, I want to say Mega Man 3?
He's been in a lot of the classic Mega Man games. I believe shows up for the first time in Mega Man 2, first time playable in Mega Man 3. Don't quote me on that, though. I'm not a Mega Man player.
Yeah, I don't think he was playable in Mega Man 3, because I distinctly remember all the playground rumors from all the kids I used to know who said their dad worked at Nintendo, that they said you could absolutely get Proto-Man unlocked somewhere.
And there goes Protomus for Lady Id. 1 hour 46 minutes finish here. Very nice for basically the only full clear we saw.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A very quick tear through the moon and a full clear. GG's to Lady Id. A very well done indeed. And speaking of, welcome Lady Id. GG's.
GG.
So, first off, we have to talk about the moon.
Yes, let's talk about that moon, please. What would you like to talk about first?
So, very smart, I think, for you to have faded Dark Knight Cecil.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, I know there's a way for me to get through this, but it would have required. I think I only had Cure 2s at the time, and I figured with the long walk from the save point to the altar, I was like, you know what, I'll come back to this later. I'll keep a safety save, which of course I think I end up saving over. But I'm like, I'm not gonna spend all of my time here. I'll move on and go somewhere else. And if it ends up being required, it ends up being required.
Yeah, for sure, a good decision there. You fought Antlion, in the typical meme location. So when you came back from the moon, tell us about what you were looking at, because you had a couple options, I think, when you came back. What was your thinking in the direction you took once you got back to Earth, and what you wanted to prioritize?
All right, so I'm gonna make a confession. On my tracker, I forgot to track off that I got Cecil. So this whole time I'm thinking, okay, I need package and I need Cecil. So there was the whole reason I ended up doing that giant was to try to get Cecil, and then I realized after I did package, oh wait, I already got him. And after I got the crystal, I said, oh, that should have been checked off my tracker. So that was a little bit of a goof on my part, and a little it was a small goof, but basically it was really just, where is this package going to be? I'm like, do I go to top of tower? Do I go take those 2 Fey March bosses? I'd faded that gauntlet the first time, which ended up being pretty free. It was just hold A to win. And to be quite honest, Luca was the last place I expected it to be, and the one thing I told myself I don't do, and I kind of did, was kind of metagamed a little bit and said, well, I don't see too many people taking Luca Cave, which turns out a lot of people took Luca Cave tonight. But that's just the way it goes.
For sure, it certainly was. At least I think in most cases, was not the first choice. It was I don't think anyone's first choice was to start diving into Luca Cave, but certainly that was the play to make. That seemed to unlock everything to the end.
I had one last question here from my end. We saw a lot of shopping in the early seed. However, Troya Armor Shop was skipped by both you and Dijon, and it happened to have adamant armors in it.
I saw that. I peeked in there, I saw the adamant, and I said, well, I've got Heron robes and everybody. Is it really worth the time to, go back out to... Because I didn't know what I had in my inventory at the time that I could really dupe and get a lot of money for quickly. So I was like, well, rather than muck around the inventory and figure that out, like, I've got Heron robes and everybody seems pretty strong. Looking back on it, I still think I would have made the same decision, because it felt like it came down to a routing decision, honestly. Although, yeah, early on, knowing that they were there, sure, yeah, like, if that could have been one of your first stops, you could have just had instant access to adamant armors, yeah, that's something that you do. That late in the game, in the seed where I was, I still think was the right choice, but it was probably something I could have done a little bit more, recon for to try to find that out.
Well, you did get pretty through all. You fought more bosses than anyone, and none of them gave you trouble. So it turns out you didn't really need them anyways, right?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't feel like I needed them at all. It was just, like, oh, yep, here they are. I mean, really, what I was really more looking for was, an Excalibur crystal sword, which the crystal sword, I forget who dropped that. And at that point, I was like, I don't feel like duping it. It's fine. Everyone's, near max attack. The stat boost would have been nice, but it was kind of wasn't worth it at that point.
Yeah, and I think we were discussing that on your way to Z, that you were probably likely going to win a race in terms of just damage output to, whatever Big Bang could do in terms of damage. And sure enough.
Yeah, I've played a couple of these, during the week, to where, I kind of knew, all right, once you get to Z and you have kind of power overwhelming, you can pretty much just, quad Zerk or Quint. The Quint was really just for the memes at that point. I wouldn't even bother decking out Fu in any other case, but I'm like, I'm going for Quint. And then, yeah, sure enough, I only eat the one Big Bang, and that was it. Which honestly, that's always pretty fun. There's not too many cases you get a Quint Zerk and just a one Big Bang.
Well, very cool. Well, thank you for showing us the most of the seed. We now basically have all of the knowledge thanks to basically you. Anything else you want to say about the seed before we get to Dijon's finish here?
No, GG to everyone. Joe Fuzz, if I'm not mistaken, is this your first time on comms tonight?
So I hear, yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to call too much attention to you, but
no, thank you.
Yeah, I'll go back and certainly watch this race, but yeah, that's fantastic to hear. Thanks everyone. Thanks Escorian for streaming, Skype Marshall for tracking, doing an amazing job as always, and everyone else involved. And yeah, GG, and everyone have a great night.
Absolutely, GG's again.
And with that, Dijon has also finished, and we'll be pulling her in for an interview now as well. Welcome to the booth, Dijon.
Hello.
GG's.
Thanks.
So, tell us your thoughts.
My thoughts are I picked every wrong check I possibly could have.
Well, you didn't go to the moon, so that's a feather in your cap.
That's true. I did not go to the moon.
Yeah, for what it's worth, at the very end, you basically beelined straight to the end and made all the right choices at the very end to get straight to the finish. So, kudos on that.
Yeah. I think what happened was I got too confident with my Dragoon Spears, and then kind of hit a bit of a wall at the Dark Elf, and that cost me a lot of time.
Yeah, we did notice you took a few wipes there, both to Luge and Dark Elf, but you had so many less tools than the other runners at the time. The first runners down had adamant armors from Troya stacked on their characters and crystal swords to boot, so you did those fights with a lot less resources than the other runners on stream.
Wow, I had no idea there were crystal swords, and I'm guessing the adamants were in the armor shop there.
Yeah, adamant was in. Yeah, armor shop, and I believe Crystal Sword was dropped, but I want to say there was on sale in somewhere else. I thought I saw somebody who ran into them into a shop, but I think it might have been Baron.
Ah. Yeah, nope. Had no idea. But I also kind of stopped, like, looking after I had the Dragoon Spears, because I was like, you know, they're not, like, the highest, but they're pretty high up there, so I was like, I don't want to lose any more time doing, like, trap chests and stuff, so...
Yeah, I can definitely respect not wanting to go shopping everywhere and open a bunch of chests for what would be like only an incremental weapon power gain.
And they did get you through the final fight, so you know that definitely you can say that was the right decision since it got you through to the end.
Yeah. But,
So are you usually a keyless tower fan?
sometimes. I figured I was already down there, and it would have been faster to do keyless tower and have it not pay off than it would have been to go back up, go do Twin Harp, and have that not pay off. Although, I was kind of mad at myself for not doing Sealed Cave first, because that would have saved me a trip.
Yeah, Sealed
Yeah,
Cave, not everybody's first choice, for sure.
Yeah, we saw a lot of fading of Sealed Cave. Not just from you, but from a lot of people tonight.
Yeah, and even Lady Id also did the keyless tower play as well, to go up there and just to see, like, this is real quick, just get up there and figure out that was the check.
Yeah. And I thought real hard about resetting out of that adamant armor, but I walked it out.
Yeah, that was a lot of that this seed where you realize I can't leave it on the table. I gotta go.
Yeah, I'm surprised I managed to beat that evil wall when I did.
Triple digit HP on that edge left at the end of that fight.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, if this gets to where the next hit is gonna kill me, I'll reset, and then like took it out one hit before I would have died. And then it was the Twin Harp, so I was like, well, I can't even reset out of this. But, you know, it's...
That's for sure. Well, is there anything else you want to say about the seed tonight before we let you go? You were the last of the featured runners today to get this done.
Yeah, just, a little out of practice. But yeah, I know where I lost time. I know the things I could have done differently, and you know, could have gone a lot faster. But I still got sub 2, so I'm happy with that, at least.
Yeah, you ran a heck of a race, and you know that sometimes that's rando will just rando. You know,
Yeah.
you go one place and they just don't work out. You know, the decisions don't work out. You know, it can happen for sure. But GG's. You know, we're all really happy to have everyone here, and we thought everyone did an excellent job.
It's not often I am on this side of the race.
Yeah, we actually had to do a double take at the beginning of the race. We said, has Dijon been streamed on a community race before? Because Siren doesn't remember that far back, or doesn't remember non-tournaments, so we kind of had to do a double take there. But thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
And with that, I want to give another hearty thank you to the team tonight. We did have Scythe Marshall behind the scenes of the tracker. Escorian was doing a restream, and of course, here in the booth with me was Joe Fuzz. Inaugural commentary.
Thank you very much. I'd be remiss to say, Motaz, that you were a huge help helping me out here tonight, carrying me through for sure, making me feel nice and comfortable. I really appreciate all the help from you and everybody on the Restream team, Escorian, Scythe Marshall. You've all been great. You're all awesome at what you do, and this whole community is very fantastic. And I'm happy to be here. And I hope to be here doing more stuff with everyone, a lot more. So, thank you.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, and you are right about the community. That being said, we do have a Pink Puff coming up, which is kind of a learners league for free enterprise, and Dr. Cossack is actually showing off some of those flags which were just unveiled. So we're going to go ahead and raid them now. So stay tuned for more free enterprise here.
Yep. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night and drive safe.